your fever on, get inside. What you waiting on? Now's your time. Blood runs through your veins, blood runs high. Fall in love with your soul tonight. Nobody said it was gonna be easy now.
Well, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do my first setup and initial thoughts on the new 1P Solitude from Peax. We've got the shelter, we've got the insert, and then the 2 poles that it comes with. Obviously you can run it with 2 trekking poles to be ultra light and ultra quick if you plan on picking up camp. But I wanted to go ahead and get the poles too, because a lot of times I'll leave my shelter set up and just hike from there. So I'll post all the weights and everything. For a 1P with the insert and the poles, it's a little bit on the heavier side, but from what I've seen online and what I'm about to find out is I think the space inside of this is going to be much bigger than some of the other ones. There's another channel or another video on my channel from a different shelter. It's a good shelter. It's super minimalist, ultra light, just doesn't have enough space. I'm willing to pack a little bit extra weight. The other side of that is I don't always take a nest. I'm going to be up on top of a ridge away from water. I don't really worry about bugs too much, so then I can just take the shelter and the poles, and I'm at a decent weight for a really bomb-proof shelter. So we're going to go ahead and do a time lapse of me setting it up for the first time. So if I look like I don't know what I'm doing, it's because I don't. So we're going to see how easy it is to set up initially without any instructions or any videos, because I haven't seen one online yet, but I'm excited to check it out. So stay tuned. Here it comes. Let's see what it looks like.
I say a rock to the rhythm, don't stop. Cause get a funk's got to beat the short shot. I say a rock to the rhythm, don't stop. Get a funk, got to beat the short shot. I say a rock to the rhythm, don't stop. Cause get a funk's got to beat the short shot. I say a rock to the rhythm, don't stop. Get a funk, got to beat the short shot. I say a rock to the rhythm, rock to the rhythm, rock to the rhythm, rock to the rhythm, rock to the rhythm.
All right, guys, I got it all set up. Will's behind the camera, so bear with us if it's a little shaky. He's still learning how to do all that, but it's my best option. So as you can see, I went ahead and changed these out. I do it on all the shelters. I really don't know why they haven't adopted this neon green color. It goes with their logo, but I always trip over these further out guy outlines. So there's a guy outline on this side and there's a guy outline on that side that I went ahead and switched over so they don't get tripped on. Their black has a reflective tape in it, but during the day you just don't see it. So I do that. This one's come a little loose, so we're tightening it up a little bit. So you can see here's the shelter. It's got a really nice big door here. We'll go through kind of the inside, but there's a door here. Obviously there's a net. I just have it tied back. Real easy, nice zippers. It's got a 2-way zipper, so you can vent it without having the whole door open and have it flapping in the wind. We'll come around here. 2 of the biggest things they did was they actually have a vertical pole in here, so the ends of the tent don't come to a point at the ground. It gives you about 10 inches on the foot box and the head box, and so tall guys like me, my head and my feet are normally hitting the edges of the tent while I'm in it. We're going to see how it fits. I haven't laid in it at all yet, but this will be much better that way. So I'm excited to see how that works out. And then as you can see, there's actually 2 poles. So instead of having one and you have everything slanted towards the one pole and your shoulders are hitting the side, this actually gives you about a little bit wider than me, shoulder width all the way down to where you're not touching the shelter when you're sitting up, which is nice. And then keep your space, Will. Come around, it actually has a second door. Keep going. So it has a second door, and it actually creates another small vestibule. So I actually put my gun in here, which I think is what I'll plan to do. But this is also a 2-way zipper, so you can get some good cross ventilation through here as well. And then if you look up here, you can see there's a vent here, and there's also one on the other side, so they have really good cross ventilation. So it's a super killer system. that's what the outside looks like. With it being sill, it will sag and it will stretch a little bit, and then it will tighten when it's warm out. It was super warm when I pitched it, but I mean, as you can see, it's really solid. So that's the outside. We're gonna cut the video here, and then we're gonna talk about the inside. All right, so we're in the tent now. As you guys can see, I got lots of space. I got my pack filled up. There's a spot where I could put my shoes back there if I wanted to. The nest is super great. As you guys can see from back there, I've got the nest completely closed in. It's wider than I am. It's not even down that far. It's a great nest with the 2 poles. It's super wide inside, which is awesome. Whenever I'm moving, I'm not touching any sidewall, which will be great with moisture. There's lots of room in this vestibule for cooking, all that kind of stuff. Like I was talking about in the other part of this video, you can vent it here, and on the other side, it's awesome. With having my gun on the other side, it's really nice because I always worry about climbing over my gun to get in and out. But now my gun is over here all by itself, so I can get out, get ready to go. My gun stays protected the whole time, and we're solid. So Will's going to hand me the camera, and I'm going to show you guys the inside here. So you can see that down there, my feet aren't even touching. And then, what's up? You guys can see that I have lots of space right here too as well. So this is a pretty killer design. Keep going. So that's the inside of it. I'm gonna get out of here because it's about 95 degrees and I'm super hot. There's a little trick when you get in here where the footbox net clips into the shell, and you have to do that by sneaking your hand around, or if you plan to always run the nest inside of it, I bet you could just leave it hooked up. But that was a little tricky at first. There's also other stake points, so you can stake down if you're in really big weather. But yeah, this is a really spacious single-man shelter. It doesn't feel like a coffin at all. If I was in inclement weather, I could sit here and I don't feel super claustrophobic. It's got a big vestibule on the front and a good sized vestibule on the back, so any kind of weather is going to stay out of it. The bathtub shape is really good, so I like this. So yeah, I think you guys will like it. Check it out. Like I said, it's a little bit heavier than most, but you get way more space, and if you're fighting bad weather or anything, the more space in here, the better I feel. And I think I'm going to run it floorless here in a couple weeks, and that'll even feel even more spacious. And it'll make it quite a bit lighter. So one thing I forgot to touch on, a couple things now that I'm standing here. First of all, you'll see that this side has a bigger vestibule than this side. The logic behind this was so if you're on a super steep hillside, you don't need as much room on the backside, because if it was the same, you'd need a little bit bigger of an area. So that's the theory why they're not the same. I go back and forth. It'd be kind of cool to have the bigger vestibule on the back for more storage, but it adds weight, takes up more space. So that's kind of the theory behind that. I don't know if you noticed in the video. Then on this bigger one, it has all these, I don't remember what they call it, but it's so you can actually pitch this on a further up, like if you're in like a V-shape area. This is designed so you can pull it up and still stake it and get the vestibule nice and tight, but then you have some room there. So we'll see if that comes in handy or not, but I wanted to make sure and mention those two things because it looks a little funny if you're looking at it this way, but you can also see how it has that general shoulder width shape all the way through. So it's super awesome. Like I said, inside feels so much bigger than any other single man shelter I've been in. So super excited to try this one out in a couple weeks. We'll see how it goes, but I just wanted to show that to you guys. So there it is. We're doing a quick video on the new 1P from Peax, and I thought I'd just do a quick overview of their tarp they just dropped. I mean, a tarp is a tarp, right? I believe this is an 8x10. I had one that was a little bit smaller, so I wanted to take advantage and get one that was a little bit bigger. 8x10 seems to be about perfect. It's a little bit much for one guy, but I've just found that the smaller ones are just not as universal, and they don't handle less steep terrain very well, because if you're not on a hillside or a real steep hillside, the back wall gets super steep and you don't get much coverage. We figured that out on a spring bear hunt this year with me and Tyler, so I wanted to get a bigger one and I knew this was coming, so I held out. Anyways, you guys can kind of see this is one of my favorite ways to pitch it. Even without the pole in the center, it works out really well because it gives you the sides to kind of deflect the water down. It gives you the good flat area for glassing from. You can also see that I have my green line. Oops, as I fall over, I have my green lines here. I always switch them out. I don't like tripping over lines. I have all 4 main corners. They have their normal line lock systems, so I just leave those on there all the time. That way, if I'm ever pitching differently, like if I'm going to pitch it as an A-frame to get under, everything can pitch without having to change cordage around. Or if I'm doing something funky with the back, I have some adjustment versus just staking it straight down. If you have a second guy, having that pole in the middle is awesome, and Peax even designed the little holder like they do in all their tents to hold the handle, so you can stick it up there, and even if the wind's blowing, it'll hold to the handle better. It won't just let the pole fall out, which is really cool. The other thing I was going to talk to you guys about is anytime I'm running a shelter, I have a couple extra stakes. Like, this is a pretty generic way to do it. This will almost work in all of them. Any condition, this is a great way to pitch it. Even if it's on the windy side, this is nice and solid. But I always have a couple extra stakes and a couple extra cordages, and these ones have just the normal old school line lock system on them. So this side goes around the stake, this side goes around another trekking pole, and then you can, if it's super windy, you can use it to just help hold this front stake down, or you can actually use it with another trekking pole on the side to hold that up, and then you've got another super solid line to hold your pole up vertical. It just gives it a little more rigidity in heavy winds. I really like to just put them on these front two if it's super windy, and just stake the poles down as well as the sides. And these work really well because you get, like I said, you can put one side up here, take out one of your Peax stakes here, just go like this, send this into the ground. Or sorry, not that. That's just how I have it hooked on. You take this, send it into the ground. Sorry for the view you're getting there. And then just go like that, and now that pole is even more sturdy. So I really do like having an extra couple pieces of cordage to do it like this, or to add more poles. You could even add a pole here and give it even more of a watershed or wind shedding shape. So it works out really well. So yeah, that's the Peax TP or Peax Tarp. I'll put the weights and everything in the video. I'm gonna actually weigh everything myself. I like to do that, so I'll add it for the 1P nest shelter and then for their tarp as well. But yeah, that's some of the new stuff over at Peax. Check them out. Like I said, there's nothing earth-shattering or groundbreaking other than their fabric's just a little different. And I believe that their stitching is a little bit more robust on the corners as well. Plus, they give you a lot of tie-down points, which is really nice. So it gives it a lot of versatility. Anyways, thanks for checking out the channel. Head over to peaksequipment.com and check out their new stuff. They've launched some shelters that I think are going to change the game, and I'm excited. So anyways, thanks guys. Hey guys, figured before I put everything away, I'd just show you what I was talking about with that A-frame setup. So I just put the trekking poles in the middle, got both sides hooked down. Super easy, 2-man quick shelter, early season if you wanted it to be. But yeah, so just another way you can use a tarp if you need to, if you're in some kind of downpour rain from a weird angle or something, or maybe you're looking for just a shelter for early scouting season. You don't really need much, but super lightweight. Just another way to run this, but that's why I keep those secondary extra cords in there. That way I can do a little more with it. But yeah, so that's kind of how it looks. But yeah, check out the Peax Tarp. Shout out to Peax. Keep it up. And then, oh, one other thing I was going to show you guys was it actually comes with spots to put 3 trekking poles. So when you run it like this, you can put another pole in the center, and then the middle part won't sag as much. So that's kind of cool. They also give you a spot you could almost like hang that from a tree limb or something as well. So just a few extra things, make it a little more versatile. But yeah, so that's the tarp. There's the 1P. It's been a fun evening playing around with some new toys, but don't mind the kids' pool and their trampoline, you know, dad life. But yeah, anyways, thanks for checking out the channel. Catch you guys next time.